visiting, and it stared at him for a moment longer before turning away and disappearing into the tree line. Primrose apologizes to David, as she just had to see it for herself, since the killer instinct of the Immortagon is legendary. David assumes Immortagon to be their pet name for it, but she corrects him, saying that Immortagon is its genus, and that's what they call all of them. David then looks beyond to the clearings to the west, the hills to the east, and the rainforest in front of him, seeing hundreds of 682s. They were clearly the same creature as 682, but they looked healthy, with limbs coated in pale patterned scales and their bodies covered in thick shaggy coats. Primrose says that they're the second deadliest animal on the planet, as they were third until the compendium got rid of mosquitoes, and humans still get the top rank, of course. They're immortal by any means other than themselves, and she says that they work a bit like lions mixed with lobsters, as once one gets big, old, and slow enough, the rest of the pack devours it. She says it'd be disrespectful to call them a nuisance, but as long as they kept a wall between their lands and hers, they stayed out of sight. They knew the Immortagons were intelligent, and they had tried to reach out to them, but they killed every messenger. David then asks what anomaly voodoo miracle they performed to pull this off, and Primrose says that they didn't do anything, or at least nothing overt. One day they just stopped, as one of their researchers crashed into a nest of Immortagon, and they didn't kill him. He walked through a whole field of them during their mating season, and the rest assumed that that would be the end of researcher Clef, but he got out unscathed. They don't know how they changed the Immortagon's thinking, but when they went back and asked them why, they said that we were no longer disgusting. David and Primrose proceeded to sit and look out over the jungles of Australia, seeing countless other creatures, some foreign to David, and others terrifyingly familiar. Freakish raptor dogs ran in packs and barked at each other in arbitrary English phrases, SCP-939. A flock of birds larger than airplanes soared overhead, although Primrose told him to ignore them, SCP-1160. A procession of humans walked by, dressed in woven leaves and carved bones, and they were headed to the coast, holding a long eel skeleton above their heads. A young girl waved at David, and he waved back, but no matter how hard he tried, he cannot recall her face. David again says that Primrose has a strange, beautiful little world here, but Primrose says that that's the cat calling the kettle black, but he shouldn't repeat that, as it's a cat phrase and only cats can use it. Her and David laugh, and she asks if he's hungry again, and he says that he is, in the way only near death could inspire. The next vote is from the workshop, who says that they're only here because they drew the short straw, as normally they keep their heads down and their hands busy, and stay out of politics and policy. The compendium sends them Phenom, they send out packs, and they each stay out of each other's business. If the compendium wants to know what the workshop thinks of A6K though, they think that we're wimps. When you're working with Prometheus's fire, sometimes you get burned. Sometimes you create a black hole when you stuff an improving machine inside of itself. Sometimes you create an army of cyborg super zombies, and sometimes you misplace the entire population of Massachusetts, but that doesn't mean you stop trying. You clean up the mess and get back to work, as the world doesn't get better otherwise. The workshop says that the partnership is mostly right, as A6K doesn't have anything that they don't have. The only resource that we can offer them is innovators, but all the real innovators are labeled as kooks